across the room, and I was very startled. I was laying on the floor.
Okay. All right.
And I killed him.
Shayna Hubers, a psychology graduate, killed her lawyer boyfriend on October 12, 2012, claiming self-defense. When the police arrived, they told her she had the right to remain silent until she hired a lawyer of her choice. Nevertheless, Shayna voluntarily decided to clarify her position because she firmly believed in her innocence.
I didn't make noises, and I shot him in the head.
After hours of questioning, the police decided to give her a break. However, what they observed afterward was so astonishing that they couldn't believe their own eyes. Shayna didn't realize that she was being recorded the entire time. When the police weren't present, she was caught on tape talking to herself, expressing pride in having killed her boyfriend. She even began dancing and sang Amazing Grace. This left the police puzzled and astonished at the same time. So, what's the truth behind this case? Did Shayna kill Ryan Poston in self-defense, or did Ryan's obsession with guns took his own life?
His obsession with guns killed him.
Born in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, Ryan Poston was 29 years old and working as an attorney in Cincinnati, Ohio, a dream his father had always hoped he'd achieve. However, Ryan's father could never have foreseen that one day he would be standing in court, mourning the loss of his beloved son.
Meanwhile, I wake in the middle of the night, every night, anguishing that I may forget the sound of my son's voice.
The origins of this tragedy can be traced back to when Ryan met Shayna on Facebook. At that time, Shayna was 20 years old and pursuing her master's degree in psychology. As she was friends with Ryan's step-cousin, they soon began to know each other and started dating. For some time, it felt as if they were both meant for each other, but underneath the pleasant outward appearance and common interests, tensions were rising. What initially appeared attractive soon evolved into the most complex phase of their lives. Within 18 months of their relationship, they experienced multiple breakups and reconciliations. The two also entered intense arguments. Soon, the relationship became so toxic that Ryan had no other option than to knock at his father's door.
I asked him what's going on, and he says, Dad, she won't let me alone. She won't leave my home.
After discussing with his father, Ryan began to create distance between himself from Shayna. However, what he didn't realize was that Shayna wasn't just possessive of her boyfriend. She was also ready to go any lengths to keep Ryan by her side. She began sending him thousands of messages and would even reply with hundreds of messages to one of Ryan's messages.
But you can't count them. I would say it was between 50 and 100,000 messages.
The harder he attempted to create distance, the more he found himself drawn closer to her. And Ryan ended up back in the same relationship he was desperate to escape, until one day he took an extreme step that would finally help him get out of this relationship. On October 12, 2012, Ryan became friends with Miss Ohio, Audrey Bolt, on Facebook, and they decided to meet at a bar at 9:30 p.m. After hours of waiting for Ryan at a bar in Milford, Ohio, Audrey could not believe that Ryan stood her up, but in the background, something big was happening.
He screamed at me, "You're a up person, and that's why you can't orgasm, and that's why I can't love you, and that's why no one will ever be able to love you."
Shayna discovered about Ryan's date, and this time, they engaged in a more intense argument than ever before. And then, the worst happened.
He was still talking, and he was still saying hurtful things. I don't remember exactly what. And I grabbed a gun, and I shot him.
This can also be seen in this testimony by Shayna Hubers, who also mentions how her lack of sexual chemistry was also a leading factor in their fights. We also learn that their relationship was really abusive, based on the chain of events portrayed by Hubers in this clip. During this distanced period, obviously seeing that they weren't working, Ryan started looking elsewhere. This was mostly due to the lack of sexual chemistry with Hubers. As you could see in the clip, he got in touch with Miss Ohio in 2012, and the two planned on a date later that night.
We reconnected through Facebook, and then we started texting back and forth and then planned a date to meet up.
Now, it shouldn't be surprising to assume that Hubers must have gotten jealous of her. She might be good looking, but she cannot beat a beauty contest winner. Sure, beauty is subjective, but the fact that she was Miss Ohio must have really irked the possessive Hubers. But can the level of jealousy go far enough to do this?
And because you didn't want to watch him die, you shot him more times to the point where you knew he was dead.
I said those things.
Now, throughout this clip, you'll see a person who is either a sociopath or is mentally ill, because this is not normal behavior. For starters, as you can see, Hubers told the operator that she'd shot Ryan multiple times to end his agony because she knew he was going to die regardless. And she did in fact do this, as the cops discovered Ryan's lifeless body with 6 gunshot wounds when they arrived at the scene. Goes on to show how crazy that woman is. Moreover, you can also see her commenting on the fact that she gave Ryan a nose job by shooting at his nose. And that's not even the most chilling part. The way she said it was as if she was doing him a favor. Just listen to this interrogation clip, which will help you understand what kind of murderer we're dealing with here.
He wants to get a nose job, just that kind of person. And I shot him right here. I gave him his nose job. He wanted.
The accusations against Huber gained more credibility when she had psychotic conversations with her cellmate. Since the filing of charges, Huber was held in Campbell County Jail, where she met a fellow inmate named Cecily Miller. When Huber shared her thoughts with Miller, she immediately decided to testify against Huber. Miller revealed Huber bragged about killing her boyfriend, saying that she laughed about shooting Ryan in the face and giving him the nose job he always wanted. Furthermore, Huber discussed legal strategy with Miller, saying that she would plead insanity, but she was too smart because she has the IQ of Einstein, so she was going to plead battered wife syndrome. After this chain of erratic behavior, it was pretty obvious that Hubers was the murderer, and she did it knowingly, and not in self-defense like she said in an early 911 call.
We, the jury, fixed the defendant, Shauna Huber's punishment for the offense of murder at life imprisonment.
As the judge polled the jury,
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
She was rightfully judged to be sentenced to life imprisonment. Her gruesome murder, which involved shooting someone, and the fact that she was still not affected or showed signs of being guilty made it pretty easy for the jury to give her life imprisonment. Moreover, the jury was not persuaded by Huber's explanation of the murder as domestic violence, and they reached their verdict pretty quickly. But this wasn't the first time she was given a verdict. Initially, she received a total of 40 years in prison, the first 34 of which she'll serve without the possibility of parole. But that trial was deemed a mistrial, as there was a wrongful person on the jury. While it's true that the second trial was fairer, still, the family of the deceased thought she deserved more for taking the loved member of their family. In the end, we would just like to say that you should remain calm and respectful in a relationship, but most importantly, you need to give time and space to your partners. While I'm not saying you'll end up like Ryan or Shayna, chances are you'll start hating each other. That's a wrap. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new video from us. I'd also appreciate it if you check out my latest and most popular videos. And do tell us, what do you think about this horrific event? Do let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching.